No, I just don't.
Okay, we are now being recorded.
She was gonna tell me a bad joke.
Morning, everyone. The beautiful northern Michigan morning.
It really, pretty. It's very pretty from inside the house.
But you know what? All of our friends who plow snow
Yeah.
and shovel for a living need this, so we're happy.
I sent my wife a picture of the river and the snow falling.
It's very, it's
beautiful.
very pretty. It's a postcard right now today.
Had this your dog's taking her.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna walk here this morning and I'm like, yeah, no.
Okay, it's 9:07, February 15th, 2024. And I call the order for the City of Manistee Housing Commission.
All right, we'll call the roll. Commissioner Taylor. Absent, but will attend. Commissioner Smith.
Yeah.
Commissioner Goodman.
Here.
Commissioner Pelton.
Here.
President Fosdick.
Here. Any amendments to the agenda?
Not on our end.
Public comments on agenda related items. Consent agenda, approval of minutes for the regular meeting minutes of January 18th. The special meeting work session February 1st. And bills and disbursements for January 2024.
Move to accept them as presented.
Approved,
Is that you, Jim?
approved,
Yes.
and,
Yes, yeah.
okay. Consent agenda. Old business, Commonwealth Construction, warranty work, sub-supplier list.
Did you put that?
Yeah.
So this was emailed to us last week. So they're gearing up for, the end of, what was the effective date of the warranty? I guess I don't remember.
April,
April,
the substantial completion date is April something.
of 23,
I don't believe that.
which, yeah, I mean, I think that's,
They didn't have a write-off even from Senior until this fall.
I think, yeah, we ought to ask that question because you remember even the emergency generators, that didn't happen. When we,
But it was a substantial.
yeah, so I guess what's the definition of that? Substantial completion. So. But I guess it really,
So all the units were ready for occupancy.
There's,
No, they weren't.
It's like,
They
It's-
had been substantially ready. though.
yeah. And I guess it's a word game here.
Yeah.
But we're not happy.
Well, is there any reason for us to want to push it back?
that was gonna be my point. See, we know what warranty items are out there. We're putting the list together, so does it matter when the period starts, as long as it gets addressed?
Well, we
Under
need to
the
get that
warranty.
list in prior to that April
Yeah,
date.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think
And I
that's
get it fixed, we get the listings,
Yeah.
this has to be done.
Yeah. stuff. And I know, we've had an issue with smoke detectors, a bunch of replacements already, and I know they know that. But the good news is we're getting, we don't have them yet, and they asked what address to mail everything to, so the performance specs, the manuals for all the equipment, it's all coming, and then we have the list of all the subs.
In Commonwealth, Caleb from Commonwealth, will come on site and it's my understanding he wants to go in every single unit.
well, that's
Well,
good.
that would be great.
Yep.
They wanted to know where to mail it, like we moved.
But who to address it to, and that was a different division within Commonwealth. Yeah, and I will tell you the problem that will arise is, is this damage from warranty or is this wear and tear stuff, so there'll be some you know, probably
Well,
some,
wear and tear, if it didn't last a year, it's definitely warranty.
yeah. But the tenant caused,
Tenant cost.
you know, or our cause, that'll be probably, you know, a issue that we'll have to work through.
Now, one thing that I noticed in all the ADA units is they have a full sink front, which is not ADA approved. And their response to Kevin on that was, well, if you get someone that is in a wheelchair, then you just take the front off. And I'm saying, no, that's an ADA unit, the front should already be off. Because when you take the front off, now you've got to brace it on the front of the sink. But they didn't want to do that.
Well, yeah, so what if we take it off and then it gets wrapped? I mean, you know,
Right.
it doesn't work, so it's like now it's falling on us.
So all the ADA units should have the front faces off in front of the kitchen sinks.
Yeah, lots of times we've done that, and we've put the false front on, and then if somebody wants it on, we keep it on or we remove it. But if you can't remove it without bracing, that's another whole issue.
But when you get a HUD inspection and it's an ADA unit, and that front's on there, even if you don't have an ADA person in there, you're gonna get rolled up on it. I know RD rolled me up on it.
Is that right? Okay. I think we've experienced that, but
Well, it sounds like we have to make sure that these are the kind like you're talking
Yeah.
about, that are set to have a removable. Not something that, it's like, well, if you just take those panels off, it'll work.
Right, because the removable ones that I've always seen is they have, you're looking at the side of it, the brace comes down like this to the wall to the front.
yeah.
This one doesn't.
And
Or
we,
these don't.
we do have one ADA unit that we plan to lease within the next week to a person that is qualified for it, who's in a wheelchair. So that'll be the perfect unit to start with.
Correct.
That's good.
Said the flooring contractor's gonna be here next week.
Thursday, I can change it. I just, Mark typically comes on Thursdays. So I tentatively scheduled it for Thursday morning at 10 o'clock.
Because there is 9-day difference between the floors here at Harborview and the floors at Secretary Terrace.
And I'll be curious to look at the flooring specs.
And this is the gentleman that was on site from the flooring company, so.
I assumed it was plank. It's not plank. And then last month I learned that there's LVT and LVP. I just thought LVT covered everything, but it doesn't apparently.
Didn't know that. So, but anyway, we're working on that list. So the maintenance staff is helping assemble it, and we want it to be comprehensive, and even if it's questionable, we're gonna put it on the list.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, then we'll deal with the fallout from there.
Okay, anything else, Commonwealth? Okay, update on the website.
So the prior director executed contract with Revise. We have paid them $4,750 for the first phase. I am negotiating the contract to lower it to one website. So we're still working on that, so, but this is actually the executed contract that you see in front of you.
When was it?
Back in 21.
Don't understand why it takes $3,750 a year to maintain the website. So I would expect that the website would be easy enough for our staff to make changes.
22.
So
They
yeah,
have to have an IT person to do that.
so yeah, we're gonna talk about all that. It was signed on January 20th of 22. I don't think I gave you guys the signature page.
Is this a fair amount of money compared to building websites? Seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, seems like,
The maintenance stuff is exactly what Steve's saying, that you have somebody internally. you know, you can make small adjustments.
Right.
You don't need to have, because what big adjustments are you making on our website?
We don't have a website.
we don't have one yet,
Yeah,
but we would want to be able to
Well,
put
we'll-
the minutes and.
Newsletters,
But that's not adjustment.
application. I mean, it's gonna be great having this website with so many people call. We'll be able to just go to our website, print an application.
Well, wait a minute, wasn't this supposed to be developed when it was signed? This,
I wasn't here there.
Yeah,
did
2
you?
no, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I don't understand why they waited 2 years to, say, hey, you owe us some money.
They didn't want money. They wanted information. They wanted the application and stuff to get rolling on it. And so I said, I need to see the contract to start with. So I couldn't find this in the office. It's probably there somewhere, but he sent it to me. So I said, okay, let me discuss this with my board and get back to you because I don't think we need 2 websites for starters.
Yeah, I just don't see it as like having to, I think inside you can, because you're really not changing the structure of the site. That's really what they do. Adding things in, like putting these, your newsletters, all that stuff, that's easy, just.
In Big Rapids, we manage 3 different programs on one website. So I think it is doable.
But it doesn't take $4,000 or about $4,000 a year maintenance cost.
Yeah, I did not negotiate this contract, but I am now.
Okay.
But the original one, I was not here, but I'm
Right.
trying to negotiate it now.
They are our host right now for our website, or it doesn't exist?
It
or
doesn't exist yet.
Still 2 years, it doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't exist.
So,
Because they were never
With
given
that
the
information.
documents to put on there.
so. They're at, because 2 years later, it's like, well, we can find somebody else.
It's in their pack.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I
for
know,
it.
I'm looking for the end date.
Yeah, so Karen, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So
Yes.
they are supposed to be sending me a new proposal with what the cost would be for one website and to administer. I told them for sure the first year and then maybe like options to renew after that for administration.
And the contract you have though, that you found or they sent you, do you have an end date or no?
I have the signature page. I did not give you guys that, but the prior director signed it on January 20th of 22.
Yeah, I don't think there was any time frames, Jenny. I think that's your question, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
When,
we've got the 4-year,
yeah, we're already in our second year
second year.
with no site.
yeah, so they'd have to change that for support.
Yeah,
But lasting impressions by Ken, are you guys familiar?
yeah, we're,
So all these pictures were taken. So I think we have some beautiful pictures.
where are they?
He does have those. He told me I have a lot of pictures. And then he sent me this bill
Yeah,
or
proves it.
proving that we did pay $300 to have someone take pictures. So yeah, we'll get there.
But if it was 22, those were rooms before they were completed? Or
It
what?
had to have been.
We'll have to take a
We'll
look
have
at
to,
it.
now you're gonna
Well,
have,
if you need a new set of pictures, I'll do it for 150.
oh. So you're gonna have to look at those too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we should take a couple of apartments if we're gonna do that.
Yeah, just one in each
That would be a
building.
good idea.
We did that in Nisbet Fairmont.
Yeah, and then maybe some exteriors with the changes that we've made
Yes,
and the
definitely.
banks cleaned up and.
The nice community rooms.
So I think we really need to look at this contract because in number 9 goes on to say that we have the website in a 4-year agreement, assuming Housing Authority agrees to 5 consecutive years of annual software subscriptions, tech support, CMS updates, and hosting. So
Free design.
I guess I'm trying to figure out, have they met the contract needs? Do we have something here that says they have not done their due diligence on what they were supposed to do and we would sever this contract?
And lose the $4,750 that we already invested.
G plus.
If we can find another web designer, remember I called one, they're book solid. So I don't know.
Find out who we.
I mean, we could get some bids before
Well-
we cut our,
You know, the thought we had talked about this earlier about our IT needs too. Typically I would expect the IT people to do this.
Yeah.
Not go out and do, like, in our experience, the IT people did all of our web design and maintenance and they still do.
Well, I was gonna bring this up later. I don't know why, but I can bring it up now. We're paying Valeo Network $1,500 a month for tech support.
Yeah.
And I question, are we using them that much that we need to continue to pay them every month? I mean, if we call them and they come out, I understand that, or if we have tech problems every month, I understand that, but to pay them, $18,000 a year just to be on call.
Yeah, we were discussing that this morning.
Yeah, I think there's better options ultimately.
We're up for renewal right now.
It's good. I think that what I'm recalling during the pandemic, when there was more use of tech stuff,
Yes.
not very tech savvy people trying to zoom in and all this different stuff. And it was always a mess. No, it was, yeah.
Don't remind me, I have a Zoom.
Can you hear me?
tonight.
No, it was like, because of course, people were, it was at their home and all the tech stuff that was there. So, I think that probably that was utilized more then. But I don't see a purpose for it now that we've kind of controlled what that tech stuff is. We've eliminated all of that extra stuff.
There's still some extra too that we're looking at. So this is one of those, we're getting down to the list that needs to be addressed and
AT&T is on that list
I
too.
still wanna know what we're paying,
Yeah.
$800 every month. Copper wire, what is copper wire? They can't seem to tell us what it is, but every month they bill us for it.
Right, I think we're close to being able to,
Renegotiate that?
well, for sure, the office at hand. Where they were punching in and out on their cell phones and that, so I'm pretty sure we're almost at a point as soon as I can get the fax set up line different, because right now it's through the
But
office
Lloyd,
at hand.
we have 2 outside employees.
So-
So we're spending how much money a month?
Right.
That they can punch in on their phone?
Yep, clearly, yeah, we pay a lot of money to AT&T. But also, I don't wanna, hinder any services, because that is it goes through the fire alarm system, the elevator company.
emergency, so we gotta make.
So
sure all
that's
that-
why I'm not, I can't just say, oh, you're charging us too much, we're done. I have to make sure I have a new company that can satisfy the needs for those lines. So it's definitely, like Mark said, it's keeps getting closer to the top of the list.
So back to the IT. So we need an IT support company, person, whatever, to manage all of our data
Mhm.
and our technology. And is this the best company? I mean,
I know that Gordon McClellan is here in town, but is he working full time
He's
for the
working
county?
full time for the county, but like I was telling you, Graycon is a backup
Yeah.
to the county. And Gordon works with them. City, I think, has Graycon. Central Wellness has Graycon. I mean, Graycon's big in the county, so they have several contracts here.
see,
And
that would be a good,
Where's Graycon from?
I don't know where they're located at, but
I
they
just thought
are
Gordon
awesome.
would be a
and
great thing because he
Gordon's
lives right here in
working
town.
full-time
Yeah.
for us, so.
yeah.
We can coax him out of that.
Yeah.
And the question is, would one of the other agencies allow us to, be part of their system
I
too?
would go back to the city.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
are.
the city.
The city.
And that's typically what we've done is that our agencies are under the umbrella of another agency, typically our governing body, so.
Councilmember Grabowski, do you have a dedicated IT person in the city system? Or is it Ed Bradford helps out? Ed does it. That's what I kind of told them
Yeah.
earlier.
Probably when he has network problems or whatever, he brings someone.
Yeah.
outside in.
Yeah.
Then he knows who to call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
but it would be great if it was more of a local influence.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, they do an amazing job. Anytime we've had any kind of an issue, they get it figured
this,
out.
the group we have.
The next AT, but it is very expensive.
I would check with the city, I would check with Ed Bradford in regards to Graycon, the county, everybody got hit just recently with a scam. And, they were like, we were in the middle of a commissioner meeting and they were responding to it immediately. Really good service. They were with us too. They'll do your security sweeps, they will go in and test, to see who who answers those emails that aren't real. So it's just really a good service. I don't know the expense of it,
Yeah,
though. That's
yeah.
the thing I
Is
don't,
there a retention type fee plus X amount of dollars?
I don't,
Yeah, so we'll dig into that a little bit. So,
Okay.
but whatever we can piggyback on top and on the back of the city would be great.
Yeah. I mean, anything we can do collaboratively with somebody is, and save money is,
Also, since we've gone by the check registers or whatever, I have two other questions on there. We wrote a check this last month to PNC Bank for $1,206.80, and they had a whole list of things. Do we have a credit card through PNC? Is that why it's there?
How much was the amount?
$1,206.
I think that is the case.
Yes.
Okay. And how much longer do we have on a US Bank equipment lease? For 5 copiers, a folding machine, and whatever else they have here.
I have the contract on my desk, because actually Cindy and I were just going over it. But I don't remember the exact date. I'd have to go get it. But I can show you that after the meeting.
If we're paying $1,300 a month, that you can buy 5 printers for $1,300 every month.
The small ones, not the big one. The big
Right.
one we need, the other smaller one, I think that's something we need to talk about, not renewing that. Oh, back to the IT though. So they said $1,500 is their minimum monthly charge for an agency. So, and they've proposed to raise it another 300.
So,
Yeah,
and we have all these emails. So like Karen, you were set up with an email back in 2016. So they sent me a list of all the emails to ask.
Which I declined.
So is that something that I,
Get rid of it. I
Good.
gave, when I
Okay.
gave my computer back and all that stuff, I said, I don't need this.
okay,
so that's some of the stuff we're paying for with them.
With that, next IT?
Next IT, yeah, to manage all that. So,
2016? I wasn't on this board in 2016.
or wait, let me look
Oh my
again.
God.
I thought maybe I have, when I printed it, it came out in 3 different sheets, because it was like, he sent me this big
Well, they've
long.
been monitoring.
Yes.
Yeah. Have they been monitoring anyone else's? Did we have any other email people on there?
928. The only commissioner is Karen that's on there. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going through it to make sure that there aren't any emails. We still are paying for Clinton's because we keep checking his to make sure if there's any HUD notices and things like
Yeah.
that, but it may be time that we could go ahead and eliminate that one now. So I'm looking at that. If we do stay with next AT, I did tell them I need to.
Well, they should just be bouncing it to your email.
I don't
You
think we
can
do
set that up.
yeah, they should.
That's what we do.
Okay,
When someone leaves, then you can,
Now, you're talking just business emails, right?
Yes,
I would think you could have 100 emails. As long as you were protecting the.
your Microsoft 365 business standard.
So you can forward those to your email address and everything will go forward. You can get rid of Clinton.
and then get rid of all of those.
yeah, I think that's,
So yeah, so like, because like I said, we're up for renewal. So I said, my board meeting's tomorrow. I just talked to him yesterday. I said,
Yep.
my board meeting's tomorrow. You need to give me the best rate you can because, we're
That's next IT, right?
trying to cut as many costs as we can. It is next AT. So right now is the time to. Yeah, so they are, like I said, they are very good, but let me get a hold of let me get hold of the city and see if I can get some other proposals.
or if we renew them, at least put in the contract an out clause with enough notice. So if we find somebody else, that they know that. They may not do that.
I'm just worried about a IT, well, of course, they could probably do it over the internet, but being in Traverse City and having our computers go down and how long it's gonna take to get them back up.
They're good. Anytime we ask them for anything, they're on it. And then when I was going to work, I thought I was gonna be able to work remote a couple days a week. They helped me I'm all hooked up so that I can actually work from home if I'm ever
If
able
you're able
to.
Get out of here.
I'll let the record reflect that James Taylor is having a meeting.
At 9:28 entered.
Who is it in Traverse?
Next IT.
Yeah, I think in Grand Rapids too, they have several offices.
So they do, so I did tell him I wasn't ready to renew it, and then I was having a board meeting, and that I would get back with him. So that's when he sent me all these email addresses and said, this may be one way we can cut costs.
You know, website was going to new business bed bug policy draft. 60-day comment period.
Yeah, so I would like to send that out to both public housing and CTHV residents for a 60-day comment period. And the moats are addressed in there. So the main thing that I would like you guys to give me your opinion on is so those interceptors that we've been installing are worth their weight in gold. So we have found some unreported infestations during the installation. And we will be, every new move-in, as soon as they get settled in, they will be on the following week. And they will have an inspection and the interceptors installed. So we've got the program going. I did show this, bed bug policy to our new pest control company. He did make a couple minor changes about the treatment, but he loved it. He said, this is great. We did a lot of work on this policy in Big Rapids over several years. We kept revising it until it was the way we needed it. So the one area, if you will notice where it says you must have your mattress off the floor. So we do have residents that are sleeping on air mattresses. So we are unable to install the interceptors on those. So what we did in Big Rapids is we worked with agencies and we were able to fund a frame for them, a bed frame for them. We helped them. So if it was a financial hardship for them to buy a bed and a frame, we were able to work with agencies and help finance that.
I was just gonna ask that, is that because of want or need that they're on the floor?
Yeah, I'm not unsure why, but
Roughly how many?
I would say probably 25. They probably have 25 residents that don't have a bed.
Kind of a cool idea is out in this industrial park. There's two companies out there that put out their, what are those slab things?
The
Pallets.
pallets.
And I've seen beds made out of those.
Well, they won't work with the interceptors.
Wood. They're wood.
You know what a pallet is?
Yeah.
Wood pallet.
It's a wooden pallet and there are open slots in them.
Right. So the way the interceptor works is
It's a mold.
you have to, you have to be able to put the leg. So you would put legs on these.
You could.
Okay.
You could, yeah.
So who would build those?
Well, I mean, they're easy to take two slats, and kind of put a board across them and, you've got.
And
it
you'd have to
up,
install legs
and
because
just get some black wood.
so the interceptor would not be able to go on a table like this
No.
because the legs are too.
Right. It's just a thought, those are always free. They always have they go fast. I gotta tell you, there's people that line up and grab them, but it's just another alternative to,
I think a bed frame is approximately $100.
Well, since we have
And the other thing is they discourage wood. I just remember.
Oh, okay.
Because if you do get bed bugs, they love the
They
wood
would-
and it's hard to get them
okay.
off it. The iron, they definitely encourage metal frames.
Yeah, okay.
that gets me
That's
to
difficult,
go.
yeah.
And you can get them for about $100.
I was saying,
Brand new.
Favorite shopping place, Menards, for $47.
metal frames?
Yeah.
Well,
No
I could
headboard
put it
for
on
frame.
this report
But
today.
are you okay with me enforcing that section of the policy?
Yeah, but well, in order to make sure, it's for their health and safety
Yeah.
too. But if they can't afford it, it's like we have to have something as a safety net to kind
That's
of.
all has tons of them.
So
I
for
wonder-
the most part, everyone's been cooperative, allowing us to install the
Sure.
interceptors.
Sure.
So we just need to make the new system work completely. we need frames
Yeah.
on approximately 25 beds.
Yeah.
Oh,
And and then, so if we reach out to the community, because I'll tell you, people are giving away or getting rid of stuff every day.
Mhm.
Lisa knows this, I know this, and so people, we call it a wish list for, agencies, a wish list or something. So number one, we let people know. Number two, maybe we save some money somewhere else and buy some frames.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, if we had some on hand, if
Yeah.
they're $50 a
If they're
piece.
$50, we should be able to.
how much are they?
And we could let a resident pay for it over time.
Yeah.
$5 a
Yeah.
month, or whatever.
Right.
But we have to make sure that they comply, otherwise we never get rid of.
Right,
things.
never.
This is everywhere, by the way. And I read an article, and I was almost gonna send it to you. I think it was on MLive. It was the top 20 cities in the United States for bed bugs.
I read this.
Michigan had 3 in the top 20. So it's a big problem, and it's like.
I
we
have
to-
shared this contact with other agencies across the state looking for help with bed bugs.
So, and I would also, if you see the posters, I'd like to actually, so that people are comfortable talking about it.
Sure, sure.
So I do plan on purchasing some posters and educating the residents on, just let, the sooner you let us know, the sooner you will be free of them. So people don't want to tell us. They're embarrassed about
They're
it.
Embarrassed.
Well, the more you're aware and the more you cite them, it's not always that they're inside your place. You're bringing it in.
Yeah, or somebody's bringing them.
Or somebody's bringing it in. So it's like
Someone from the next apartment over upstairs or downstairs or whatever.
from the community.
Visitor.
They're gonna see the community
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
And in these common areas, are they in these areas and in the offices too?
Bedbug?
Yeah, no, not
The trap.
traps.
Not right now. No, right now I'm trying to get them in the units because that's where the problems are. So right now, I mean, I think we've ordered. Oh, how many have I went through? A lot. Like, I think by the time we're finishing Harbor View next Wednesday. And I want to say, I'll bring you back a count on how many we actually installed. It's a lot.
Okay. It's already a marked difference. So we want to finish this up and.
Yeah, our new exterminator, he loves them. He's like, those interceptors were such a great idea. He said they are definitely worth their weight in gold.
Well, we just.
So he said, thank you for the
We
referral.
have to be relentless on this.
Yeah.
So
Did we get a kickback, Lori?
Not yet. Hey, the kickback is we're gonna be free someday.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we
Have you thought
definitely.
about Getting the mattress pad covers that kill the bed. bugs?
They come, this contract that we have, they come with the treatment. So it's, yeah, so
Everybody has the.
so, and
option to
he
use
will
it.
install them on your he puts them on your mattress. So this,
Wow.
yeah, he goes above and beyond. Before the other company, it was like $100 and some, and then they didn't want to put it on. So, yeah, no, he will supply the encasement is what he calls it, the bed encasement, and put it on.
Does it kill the bugs?
No,
There's ones out there that are approved by the FDA and stuff that Pittsburgh Counseling Commission used them to get rid of their problem.
okay, yeah.
And they do.
He doesn't
kill the
have those,
bugs.
but he does treat it, so the treatment's what's killing them, and then the educating the residents on vacuuming and drying everything on high is the way that but yeah, we're doing good,
Now, why is there a 60-day comment period?
the CTHV lease states when you make a lease or policy change, I'm pretty sure public housing is 30 days, but because I'm doing it with both programs,
Okay.
I went with 60 days.
The only thing I'd change in here is I wouldn't charge anyone $5 monthly. If we walk in and those boats aren't on or they're missing, you're done, you're gone. You have just violated your lease.
So that's I'm glad you brought that up, Steve. So this whole, it's a delicate situation with bed bugs because per regulations, we can't charge for the treatment. But what we can do is mandate that you're ready for the treatments. And if you cause issues that we can't, or you're the reason that the problem persists, we can do a lease termination on that. But as far as even going back in 3 or 4 times, and if they're not ready, it's useless to treat. So that's why we have to be very vigilant and demanding that you comply with what needs to happen to treat.
Do we have those keys in this?
I think that's in the
That's,
lease. That's a lease.
Yeah,
In the lease provision.
yeah, it states any policy that we adopt, you know, we can
Because,
terminate your
you
lease
know,
if
you
you're
put
not
a
in compliance with
couple
the
hundred
policy.
apartments on, it's gonna ignore you. You're still gonna have bed bugs.
Yep, yeah, that's why,
March 20th, we will have a K-9 come through to all 167 units. So I'm very anxious to see how that inspection prevails.
dogs will be exhausted by the end of it.
Yeah.
So then that may be the last K-9. There's another one scheduled in June, but if we are under control, then we will not. Those between the monitors and the he's here weekly. And
Okay.
this technician will do bed bugs and roaches on the same week.
Okay.
When we were the previous company, if we just found out we had a roach infestation in a unit, he would make us wait until the following week to even look at it, but partial will do any, they're amazing.
Now, I don't see anything in here in enforcement. In other words, if you go to put these into an apartment, they're not ready, say, okay, we're gonna be back next week. They're still not ready. Okay, we're gonna be back next week. They're still not ready. At some point in time, you gotta say enough's enough and
a 30-day notice to quit, demanding that you do it or give up possession. That's how we enforce it.
Yeah, the lease incorporates the policy.
Yeah.
How could you not be
There's an
ready-
agreement.
how could you not be ready to have those put on?
Well, you have a
A
list of
cluttered
way to be
apartment.
ready, right?
Yeah.
Vacuum.
Yeah,
Get
yeah, we have a notice that we did.
Or they could still come and put them out.
If it's cluttered under your bed.
He
Yeah,
does
they
really
get-
good. Now, like I said, the previous company, if he went to a unit that was cluttered, they'd be like, yeah, we're not. You need to have these, but
Okay.
he will go in and he will still do it. And so he'll be like, I wasn't able to do a complete treatment, but I was at least able to do something, and I will be back next week or the week after, and this is what you need to have them do before I come back. So at least he'll do whatever possible to get the ball rolling on the units. So it's like, I think about half of what we were paying the previous so you're getting twice as much work for half the price.
We paying extra for the cleaning? Okay,
Okay. Yep.
cause I remember when Rose would bring them in, it was an unreal bill when that K-9 came.
Yeah,
And they wanted to bring them all the time.
I think the situation's getting better,
Good.
much better.
so,
Sounds like it.
yeah, so this may be the last K-9 inspection, but I'm not quite ready to give that up yet, because we need to make sure if we still have some infestations that we don't know about.
No.
Or a plow.
Oh,
I was thinking the same.
do we have vacuum cleaners that residents can borrow? So I'm sure lots of them don't own vacuum cleaners.
Well, that's when I am working with a resident. The first thing I say, do you have a good vacuum cleaner? And I recommend, I tell them, let me know if you, talk to family, friends. If they're not willing to help you get one, let me know so we can.
but these apartments only have
Not big enough to hold a regular size.
carpet in the bedroom. That's it.
Yeah, but people have vacuum clean. The majority of
Okay.
people do have the vacuum cleaners, and I definitely encourage them, because that is one of the best tools when you are trying to deal with a infestation. Is you need the bed bug, or you need the vacuum cleaner to vacuum up the dead ones.
Well, I question the carpet in the bedrooms because if you look at the contract with Commonwealth, it said LVT throughout. It doesn't say LVT everywhere but the bedrooms.
Well,
See, I vacuum my whole apartment,
even,
because you can't always get close under the heat duct with a broom, and that's where the vacuum comes handy.
Yeah, but you're an extraordinary tenant.
Thank you.
If they put, crushed rock balls, vacuum up them like the handful, it'll kill any of the bugs that they get into the canister.
The only other
Because
question,
otherwise they crawl
They can't get out of those interceptors.
If you get repeated reinfections in the same apartment, at what point in time do you say I give and evict them? That should probably be in this bed bug policy. You know, the
I
first
think we
time
can,
is-
I mean, we're on it. We've done this for a lot of years, Steve, so
But I'm just saying.
definitely we're not gonna allow continual infestation.
And we're not where we were before. We certainly, I mean, you know, I see that to be a rare occasion. More these days than, and again, this has been going on. Taken care of kind of in a half-hearted way for several years that I'm aware of. And now, you know, we have a good path going forward, and so I think it'll be rare when those situations come up. But if those situations come up, I think we have a good conversation. Sounds like you're doing the inspections. You're, you know, dealing with them, and if it comes down to it and they're not gonna change, then you have to have the hard conversation, but.
I think the mechanism is there, Steve, from a lease enforcement
okay?
standpoint. I believe it is. We,
Because I can think of two residents.
we've done it
that are
before.
right
We've
now
evicted
that have
for,
repeated reinfections.
And it isn't their fault all the time.
Well, and he is clearing them. He has cleared a lot.
Okay,
So I think the one you're referring to actually been cleared,
thank you.
We used
but I
to,
still keep them on follow-ups.
get, they'd come in and do that heat treatment in one apartment, but then their friend would be infested and come and see them and bring them back and
Right,
reinfest them.
yeah. So one last comment. So typically when we would take action, it's when they just refuse to
Right.
cooperate.
Correct.
You know, as long as they're cooperating, we're gonna work.
And Manistee is amazing with all the agencies that are willing to help. You know, United Way does so much for residents, and there's so many other agencies that whenever we've reached out, they're here to help.
That's awesome.
Sofas that get them.
We're trying to have a nice meeting
Don't
here.
let me go and then.
Okay, let's move on to commercial insurance.
Or you might put me on speakerphone.
So this is just the renewal for Century Terrace and Harbor View. The good news is, and I was really anxious to see this, is, you know, our partnership agreement requires certain items in the policy. One of them is that a deductible can't be more than 10,000, and they kept their deductible at 5,000. What I'm seeing in the market though right now is, I think there's a $2,000 increase. I know in Big Rapids, we got a $40,000 increase, in Everett with a $25,000 increase because of the hard market. This company specializes, it's kind of a consortium of all the housing authorities in the country. It's kind of a risk pool type. They sometimes were competitive, sometimes weren't. So we went a different direction in a couple other agencies. But we're going to look at them again, I can tell you. So this is a good renewal, very good renewal.
It's crazy how much money it is.
Well, here's what happened in the multifamily market is really hard. Nobody wants to insure us. This is a specialized market just for multifamily, for housing authorities and commissions and tax credit units. But our deductible went to 25,000. So
Here?
no,
No.
and some of the other agencies I'm
Oh,
working with, and so we're gonna take another look at this company again, just so you know. So I think this is a good good renewal.
look at all the premiums we don't have to have.
Yeah,
Correct.
so it's only a $2,000 increase. But what happened with COVID and some of the other companies are catching up with the increased cost of construction. So like if your property was worth 15 million a few years ago, it's probably worth 25 million. So that's part of the cost increase.
Yeah.
So this is a good year, but we're gonna wanna kinda in the back of our heads think, what's next?
Yeah,
year?
what's next, right?
Start planning.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money to insure
Yes.
two buildings, $58,000.
I have this terrible gut feeling that it'll be more.
We'll take it while we can.
Yeah, that's what I said. I told Lori, I said, renew this as quick as you
Yeah.
can.
Can we do it bi-yearly or,
We time it. at
No,
10
no,
years.
they won't do that.
or 2 years sometime?
The one thing I didn't like about this group before this, they pay dividends back. And my point was always just make our premiums lower. So, you know, they look at their losses and premiums for the year. And then because it's kind of an ownership group, they would rebate back some of the premiums. So I know we've had some refunds from them in the past too. But that's all just for information.
Okay. The Narrow Spring Conference in Port Huron.
What's that stand for?
Stands for it's the Michigan National Association of Housing and Redevelopment Officials. It's really our big industry group for housing in Michigan.
They're having a poster contest.
Yeah. You probably are getting emails now because we get so many memberships for our membership dues. I would encourage anybody, it's good. There'll be other commissioners there. There's good sessions. I think
When is it?
the consumers person that we've been dealing with is doing a presentation too.
And using Manistee as one of the examples of a housing commission that just received incentives.
Yvonne is giving that presentation.
So it's,
The one that I like here is stress less, go paperless. I think this office needs to know that.
so it's been kind of our practice here that we don't send anybody to conferences or staff, but I think that needs to change. I think it's a good opportunity to see how other people
Right.
deal with issues, and there's some good sessions. This is the group that I was on the Michigan board for a while. It's a good group, so I'd encourage if you're interested in going, and first of all, you should maybe authorize any commissioners that want to go
Yes.
as a board and then we'll decide staff. I'll be there, or probably will go.
And I would think that Kevin or Cindy or someone like that should go too.
Yeah, when they have the right sessions, you know, sometimes they have maintenance tracks.
Mhm.
I didn't see that on this one, but
Yeah, there is couple maintenance things. in
yeah,
there.
and some of them will have a couple days devoted to maintenance. Some occupancy, so it would be good for the folks dealing with the occupancy applications and leases.
There's a one on rad in here too. Thinking that we're knowledgeable enough for rad, we could probably write that book.
Yeah.
Everything not to do. But I think that we should have some people in attendance.
Yeah, I don't think anybody from Manistee's been in many, many years.
Since, when was that? When was I put in here?
16.
All very good.
Yeah.
Didn't even know it.
There's a few years there that just I can't even recall.
You're on the good tone.
Yeah.
I cannot go. My husband will be post-op
Okay.
at times, so.
I think a motion from the board to authorize any commissioner or staff we'll decide in the staff line, but authorize us to determine which staff, and you guys authorize any
Great.
commissioner.
Make a motion that we authorize our staff and any commissioners that are interested in going to the April 17th, 19th Narrow Conference be allowed to go.
I second it.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
They have a spring and a fall conference, and I think the fall conference might be at Crystal Mountain,
Going Mountain.
Boyne Mountain, September, okay.
Right, see you in the fall.
Yeah, that's,
so-
see you in the.
Yeah.
I see on this one here, it's April,
Either.
17th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a golf outing first day. It's like, I bet that isn't gonna be very well attended.
Oh, that used to be a big deal, but it's kind of nobody plays golf anymore.
Where is it held at in Port Huron?
It's right on the river. Right? It's if it's the place I'm thinking of, is it the Edison?
It's actually 2020.
Okay.
I saw the right line. It was Clinton was 16. I was looking at the wrong one. So you have had emails since 2020.
Where's it at? It's,
Here, here's-
It's right on the river. It's right on the, yeah, Blue Water Convention Center. Yeah,
Very nice spot.
it is very nice.
It's right next to Oak Park.
It's prettier than.
Yeah. And you watch the freighters go through just like,
I was just 2 blocks down from the Blue Water Bridge.
You could jump in the water at Port Huron and by the time you got out, you were in St. Clair.
the last conference that was there, they were filming a movie set and they were hanging a car over on the bridge with like, it was not a real car, but so they had the whole bridge closed down. It's kind of interesting to see.
Presentation
We do
or
not.
Discussion, okay. Reports and communications, operations manager, executive director.
Let me go first.
Sure.
So I met with consumers regarding installing mini splits at Century Terrace. And the new catalogs for 2024 are not quite out yet, but he anticipated we may qualify for about $2,200 per mini split. And we're thinking 132 mini splits. So
Now, does everyone know what a mini split is, and what it does?
Steve, you tell us.
A mini split is an exceptional energy saver. But it not only heats your apartment, but it also cools it in the summer.
Just like, something like
Yeah.
that.
It is
That's a mini
exactly
split right there.
like that. So you'd have air conditioning.
So you,
I don't have to worry about having to open up the window and have my foot in.
Exactly.
It's like what you have in Florida.
And it will be a lot, it'll be more conservative than
Yeah.
than the old air conditioners that a lot of the residents are putting in their windows.
Because the one I have is 3 years old.
So this, it's like just under $300,000.
and, don't like me, I don't understand why Commonwealth, when they rehab these buildings, they didn't put mini splits in to start with.
So the one question we need to determine is the current heating system that is there. Do we leave it or do we remove it? So that's different. So we'll be meeting with Custom Sheet Metal as the contractor that we are trying to negotiate with.
Who?
Custom Sheet Metal, and then Top Line for the electrical and the electrical. and
Hot
the-
water heat.
No, it's baseboard electric.
Baseboard electric.
That's why we qualify for these, because it's electric and the heat is currently through consumers. Harborview is gas. So Harborview does not qualify for these mini splits because we're
I
paying
wanna say-
DTE, not consumers.
But for now, so is there a possibility of a grant for any of this? Because,
Well, $2,200 per.
Yeah, almost $290,000, I think we may qualify for, Jenny.
oh, okay, but you said it'll cost us 300 on top of that? No.
We don't know what the cost.
Oh, we don't know what the cost.
It may cost us $0.
Oh, okay. The normal mini split's about $5,000. Yes, sir.
Installed,
Yes. And you have
So I
lots
don't
of
know why
clients
he
who do
thinks
it.
he can do them for around 2,200, if it's because we're doing over 100 of them
Could
all
be.
at once.
I mean, through,
So we don't have official numbers yet, but I just want to let you know the ball's rolling.
you know, your space.
Yeah.
You know, what size you need.
So
So
there
one
is-
concern was Custom Sheet Metal really didn't want the 90-day, like, they were concerned about the 90-day lag in payment if they put all that money out. So those are the things that, once we have the approval of the reservation of how much consumers will actually reserve for us for this program. So it's just, we're just in the beginning stages. So I will continue to update you.
There are certain grants coming out. Fewer grants are supposed to be out the third quarter of this year. Which basically are for high efficiency electrical, which are mini splits, heat pump, water, heaters, and AC and furnaces. And those grants, and they're grants, not tax credits, are $14,000 per household.
And you provided me some documentation on that, and I have it right on the top of my desk to continue to look into that for the scattered sites
So
and possibly
this-
Harborview.
we decided to do mini splits, even at $5,000, we would more than cover the cost.
So we have completed 100% of the tune-ups at the scattered sites. There were a few repairs that they found that they needed to do right away. But so all the heating systems have been looked at, and DTE paid for everything except we got for the repairs, it was like just under $500 that we still owe Custom Sheet Metal. So that
That's
went
fine.
well. We did sign a contract with Scott Adamczyk Construction this week. So he will be starting on the house at 12th Street. So that is under contract now. And I am taking a vacation to Florida, so I will not be here from the 23rd of this month until the 28th, but I will be available of limited email availability.
Make yourself real limited.
So I'll be back on the 29th so the 29th is when we'll be doing the interviews with the RAD consultants. So I will be back in time for those at Central Wellness.
That's where that's at.
I don't.
310 Golczewski Drive, which is, if you go down Washington Street here, you see the big water tower.
Yep.
The last road to the left is Golczewski Drive, and we're down on the, as you start to go around the corner, you'll see
Sit
it.
down next to the,
Past the
dentist office, right?
past the dentist office.
Yeah, I was just there this morning.
But it's when you come into the driveway, there's a door, there's one side, and then there's a second section, it's an L shape, or on the right side, the L shape.
Is this our 3 o'clock?
Yes.
3 o'clock,
Yeah, 3:30 and 4.
Right.
We'll
I
talk
have
about
us
that.
booked out from, I think, 2:30 to 5.
Okay.
And we can go after 5, because the whole place is locked up by then.
And that is the end of my report.
All right,
anything from you, Mark?
yeah, I'll piggyback on that just a little bit. We are transitioning to KMG as the management company, but back up to the mini split. So remember, we have a partner involved. So anything they're gonna have to bless, and if it requires the money, additional money outside of what's paid for, then that'll be an issue.
It
So-
really better save some money if it's gonna cost.
Yeah. So just so you know, that's not our decision. It's the partnership's decision to do that. So that may complicate things just a touch, but I think bringing them back real data and real numbers is important.
Feels like they should, like, there's been so many issues that they would really want to invest in being a good partner.
How about a new maintenance shed?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're trying to get a maintenance shut out of.
So, yeah. So we're gonna talk about that at another meeting, but anyway, so then we're also working on the budget for CTHV. This BDO company is working on it right now.
Be
But-
more efficient.
No,
No.
but we need to give them notice because KMG's also gonna do the accounting. So we're gonna get a rudimentary budget put together. I'm hoping KMG can fine tune it for us. Because there's some of the stuff, what we've seen, and we're working on it right now, is, the project now is closed. So we don't have construction loan, but they have that in the budget. Now we just have debt service, and our debt service is about 22,000 a month for the permanent loan that's part of this project. So that all needs to be shown on there. So I don't want to give it to you guys until we have it fairly accurate.
Now, the KMG contract. And with the contract we have with BDO, KMG is going to be equal, less than?
Way less, way less.
Any idea of what that contract is gonna come in at, or?
Yeah, we know the numbers. I don't.
Yeah,
have
I
them
can
right
show
in
it to
front.
you after the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, significantly, although, yeah, accounting significantly less. We're gonna be paying more on the management side because we were only paying Commonwealth 1% of receipts. And I can't remember, I think KMG is gonna be 3, but when you take away the cost of the accounting, it's gonna be better for us.
And they're more efficient.
And
I would trust what comes out of that.
yeah, no question. The other thing I wanted to bring up it seems like the smoking areas are working. I don't see people when I'm here on the corners or interfering with traffic, or I don't hear complaints from neighbors anymore.
I see people walking down the sidewalk smoking. That's different.
Yeah.
Than standing on the corner. So, I appreciate that, but I don't see as many people anymore at
No.
all.
So I think that was a
Yeah.
wise
Could
move.
just be because it's winter.
Yeah,
It is hard to educate people that they are not allowed to smoke in the buildings, because it has went on for so long. So Carl and I have been meeting with a lot of residents, sending out lease violations, and then now there is a few that they didn't correct it after we met with them on the lease violation notice, so we have had to send out a couple 30-day notices because they're continuing to smoke marijuana in the building.
smoking is smoking. It doesn't matter what you're smoking, it's smoking.
I'm working on a list of questions for the consultants, so I'll try to send you guys a draft next week. And let me know if you want to add anything or change anything. But what we told them is no more than a 10-minute presentation, and leave us 10 to 15 minutes for question and answers. So I don't want to bump right up to the next one and run over and have to cut somebody off short. So I want their presentations to be short. We have it, I think, just assuming they're going to go over that, but I think it's really our job to interact with them and ask some questions and.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone.
You have an owl.
No, I hate owls.
I want to see what one owls
they-
look like.
They come rolling in on your face
Yeah.
without you wanting it. It's a camera thing that when you talk, it goes right to.
Oh,
it.
is that right?
Oh,
Oh,
it's horrible.
I'll have to put my makeup on. Just a couple things. Karen and I talked, she's gonna be in Big Rapids on March 21st for some meetings. So, then that's our board meeting. And I suggested maybe we could show some of the projects, some of the new housing projects that we're working on. So I don't know if you want to consider moving the meeting, or joining us too in the afternoon. I'd love to show you some of the things that are going on. And we talked about this at the last meeting. There's going to be a big push for housing coming out of the state government. I think that was pretty evident by the state of the state's address. 10,000 new units.
Good support for it too.
So yeah, and I think there is going to be some budgetary appropriations for housing. So, and part of the question is, and Jim's here from the city, do we want to be prepared to apply for some of that money? And I heard, and this came through another person in the housing industry, that the state may be releasing some small scale development soon, like 8 units or less, which can be a combination of rental and single family. We're going to be ready
Oh, that'd
to
be
go in
great.
some other agencies, and it might be something we want to think about, but I think it's, are we ready to do that here? I think that's a conversation to have.
Well, and I think that's why when we pick a consultant here in the next 30 or 60 days, we want to make sure it's a consultant that can help that too, not just the scattered sites.
Well, the consultant's only going to do the RAD. That's stuff that we'll do through our nonprofit, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's really us if we want to tackle that. And, then I'll come back to the issue of sites. We should be prepared to look at sites if we want to. And I think we own some property, by the way. I heard,
We own some by the
look like a corner lot.
COA.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're.
across the street, like kitty corner from it, right?
I think it's right next to it to the west.
I thought that was theirs. The housing development that was off of Dunes Drive there. Right behind there is a big lot on the corner.
Okay.
I thought that was it.
Kevin was talking about it. I'm not 100% sure, so maybe that's a
Because Kevin told me it was adjacent. I
Yeah.
went there and the only thing I can see that's adjacent is that just to the west, there's a couple rows of pine trees.
I'll bring that back to the next meeting.
Yeah,
I'll get the property.
I want to meet with the city manager anyway,
Yeah,
so that's a question.
There are what do you call those? There's fire hydrants back in those woods. So I suspect years ago, there was some sort of idea of development. Maybe before the church got rebuilt, but if you walk back there, there's infrastructure back there.
I wonder who owns it. We might, right?
Oh, no?
So maybe that's a conversation.
Yeah, but COA has like a 7 acres there, I think. And that
Kevin said he
includes the one,
owns it, but,
who's the one across the street from, next to the well too. Cause they're looking for development now.
Okay.
Again, here's another partner.
Yeah.
Land Bank, COA, they would love to do, senior housing. And they have enough space there for some beautiful senior housing. Now, the only complication may be the space by that oil well, functioning oil well. So I don't know about,
I know their first go around when I sat on the COA board, they didn't submit because it had already said that you can't be within 500 foot of that.
that's what
oil.
it's,
Yeah, there'll be some environmental.
Yeah.
Restrictions.
they have enough. And them is to the side.
So my point is, maybe in our April 2nd presentation to the city, I mean, we talk about this and say, there's gonna be some opportunities. Do we want to be ready for it? And one of the projects I wanted to show you in Big Rapids that I was working on before I retired was this missing middle housing development. And so the city, I think I told you about it, we had already assembled the land. We've been buying up property as it became available. So we traded Habitat actually for a bunch of undevelopable lots. So the city came in and did the infrastructure. So they bonded, like they spent $900,000 to put water and sewer in with the idea that we were going to come right behind them. So the first thing we did is we got this middle housing grant from MISTA. We were the first application in missing middle. So the houses, 5 are under construction right now, and 3 already have purchase agreements, and they're half done. So it's kind of, if you build it, it'll come. So the nice thing about that is it's income restricted up to 120% or 130%
Of median.
of median income. But there's a development subsidy of about 75,000. So the build price is 275, the sale price is about 205. So they stay there for 5 years and it's incrementally forgiven over the 5 years. So they own the house free and clear. Great program.
Well, they still have a mortgage on it, 205,000.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be mortgageable, but
Yeah.
that's their down payment. It's kind of down payment
The
assistance.
75,000 would be the down payment.
Yeah, we call it a development subsidy in the housing world. So I'm just thinking of, there's going to be opportunities out there. Do we have the appetite? Does the community, do we want to go in that direction?
The other thing too is that, Kearns, I can't remember, his last name is Kearns. Not sure, but he's a grant writer that the county contracts with. Amazing.
Oh, good.
I mean, he finds all kinds of grants and writes the grants. He's done a great job. He's brought a lot of money in to the county.
Yeah.
The $400,000 we got for the railroad, research. So when we get close to that, that's an opportunity maybe to bring somebody like that in. He'll search for these grants as well. I know that you're pretty versed in all this stuff, but if you need help.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's an additional resource that we haven't reviewed.
And a lot of this will be funneled through nonprofits, which we already have. We're established, we're ready to go. But there's going to be some opportunities, and I don't know when, I don't think there's any time. I mean, it's probably not this budget year, but some things may roll out in 25.
Well, I've talked about this before, and I don't, it's like, it's been pretty stagnant in this. Our housing commission, which should be a leader.
Yeah.
In the community, has been pretty stagnant for decades. So I think that this opportunity to help the middle, is a good opportunity, plus also senior. I mean, we have lots of ability to work with our county and work with our city, in order to kind of move this forward, especially with the land bank.
Well, and had this commission been active a few years ago, we probably wouldn't have have had a need for 3-year housing program that we have right now. We're donating $10,000 here for too.
So anyway, just, I just wanted to bring that up. So
Yes.
and we'll put some of this in our report, annual report to the city on April 2nd. Remember, it's April 2nd.
290 North Water Street is the vacant land that it shows that we,
That the Housing Commission. Tuesday.
yeah, Water Street's over there.
Is where?
Yeah, behind, city. hall.
Oh,
I thought,
maybe Kevin's mowing somebody else.
I thought it was down,
No, it's Water Street right back here.
I thought it was next to our domestic
Yeah, I think it's
violence
back
house is
here.
down in that neighborhood.
Right here.
Oh, does water continue over here? Oh,
Yeah.
water continues over here. Yeah, there it is on the map.
Yeah, it's right back here.
So Steve, Steve, on March 21st, Karen will not be here for the meeting.
Do we wanna set the meeting at a different date for March?
Or he suggested us all going to Big Rapids.
I mean, I'd love to show you some of the.
How do we go
opportunities.
as a group to Big Rapids and not violate the Open Meetings Act?
Well, I'm trying to get a hold of somebody to tell me if I'm supposed to be in an AM meeting or a PM meeting, but we could split it out.
Yeah, for
If-
sure.
Like, if I'm at the college in the morning, then I can do the afternoon run. Somebody else could do the morning run. We could do it that way,
Yeah, but
schedule people different times.
we'd have to have 3 because you have 3 commission members, you have a quorum. So it'd have to be 2, 2, and 1.
It works out.
Let's change the date for now.
Yeah, and then we can
And
figure
then
it
we'll
out.
figure out if any of us can go to Big
Yeah,
Rapids.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and tour.
Well, it's late in the month, so if we just went to the 14th. I mean, today's the
50.
15th, so
So
I
it's
mean,
1
it'd be a month.
So change the commission. So you guys would need to make a motion.
Do for
Yeah,
March.
let's do that. I'd like to keep a commission together. When we can, by changing the date versus not having someone here.
That's what we just said, changing the date. So I'll make a motion to change the next meeting to March 14th
Second,
at Century Terrace Community Room. So we all get it straight this time.
Mr. Taylor seconded it. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And then once you figure out, I mean, I might be interested in zipping over
Yeah.
to Big Rapids just to check it all out.
Yeah, and
Me too.
I'd like to come up.
and then to follow up with that, there's a developer that came in and wants to buy the rest of the lots that were already.
Oh, wow.
Didn't start building houses. So it kind of is the accelerant. Once you start and people notice and it kind of just builds on its own too.
I hate this town's got some nice buildings that are just sitting here.
Is a city meeting in the evening? It is. It's
Yeah,
your
I-
normal,
I think it's that, when we do reports, Tim, it's at the regular commission meeting, right?
Right.
Yeah,
It
scheduled.
would be our presentation.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I had. Keep it short. Jim said keep it under 45 minutes,
When is that, the presentation?
April 2nd. I think they allocate like 10 minutes, right?
So it states city council has appreciated the annual reports provided by cooperating organizations, city departments, and city advisory boards, commissions, authorities that provide information on your activities at regular council meetings. A schedule of 2024 is attached. Meetings begin at 7 p.m. and are held in the city chambers, City Hall, 70 Maple Street, Manistee, Michigan. Council has set a guideline of 15 minutes or less for presentations and requests hard copies of all presentations, including PowerPoint presentations, to be available at the meeting. Please bring 10 copies with you and present them to the city clerk prior to your presentation.
I go back to the meeting, I finally was able to get my schedule up. Okay, I'm gonna be in Big Rapids on February first. Are you saying do the meeting on the 14th?
Yes.
Here at Century Terrace.
It won't be here. It's our board meeting,
Okay.
so.
But Mark
But it's
will be
okay.
able
Yeah,
to.
but Mark is, and you guys are all here, so not a big deal.
So if you're gonna meet Mark in Big Rapids, see the development.
I'll do that on the 21st, but
So we'll keep our meeting for the 14th.
Yes, if
Okay.
you want to, that's fine.
Without you.
Without. I know you can fit it in without.
We'll
me.
miss you.
Okay, commissioner reports.
You're gonna be
Jenny.
gone either way, Karen, is the
Right.
bottom line.
Don't have a report, except I'm just happy with what's going on here. And I appreciate Kyle coming early this morning to cover what we're doing.
Karen?
Nothing for me either. I was, same with Jenny. I'm just so pleased and grateful that we found you two to guide us through the muck. And I feel like we're on maybe some more solid ground and moving forward. So thank you.
Taylor?
Did we have a construction contract with Commonwealth?
Yes.
Did we? The partnership did, not the housing commission.
Develop that partnership.
CTHB.
Yeah. I don't, again, we all don't know why or how that happened, but they built that extra entity and then did the contract.
It's weird. It's a contract that's about that, but
Yeah.
Really?
It was the right format, I'll say that. I mean, that's how we had to do it because we couldn't have gone and applied for tax credits. We had to have an experienced developer. And because there's 30 points on the application for experience points. So you're dead in the water if you try to go on your own for the most part. So we entered into a development agreement and then we created this partnership where the Housing Commission through Riverside joined this partnership with Commonwealth. But they're the majority interest in it. So they signed the contracts with the contractor, which was Commonwealth Construction Company.
Contract with them. So
Yeah, it's
You
Working on that.
Was it, were each of their, was it, yeah, I know they have what, how many different companies? Are they all incorporated?
oh yeah, yeah. They're separate.
They
They're
are
separate entities.
entity, okay.
Yeah.
They are separate entities.
Yeah, it's all done properly.
yeah, it's proper. It's like so complicated and
It
it's
is.
so diluted. It is, again, back to appreciation that we have two people who are very
Where-
experienced in
where
managing
is-
this.
Where is the contract at?
Oh, we have copies of it.
Oh, we do?
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
like to see it.
Yeah, it's we have two giant binders of closing documents.
Oh.
We have it electronically too. We have it on a jump drive.
Yeah, I've got an electronic copy on my computer too.
Yeah. And we can send that to you.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't print it off. You won't have
Oh,
enough
gosh,
paper.
yeah.
Well,
I've got.
there's
There's
a
like-
lot of iterations of the same, that you get a draft and then you get iteration 1 and iteration 2 as things move and progress. So there's lots of different.
Been through a lot of contract stuff, but I probably understand about that one.
Yeah.
That one.
It's Greek. It's a lot of
It is.
tax credit language.
It is, yeah.
Anything else?
That's,
What's going on with the residents? Resident.
things are getting, we're having. No, I won't discuss that. Things are getting better. We're getting more people involved in this stuff. Like we had the Valentine's indulgence here last night and they stayed late. They really did.
Did anybody get hammered?
No, I told them to bring champagne. That's part of Valentine's and nobody did. I was gonna bring even the fake one, but
They had lots of finger foods that residents brought. And I came down for a little while and
we were gonna do.
chatted
it,
with residents.
And I got yelled at from my mom and Pat and no, Valentine's Day is indulgence. Chocolate and candy and champagne and that sort of stuff, not food.
Yeah, I came down and got some chocolate.
Yeah, that's Valentine's Day. You're indulging. It's love and,
It was
Chocolate,
nice. It was
yeah.
a nice atmosphere with the residents joining in.
Yeah.
yeah, there was some nice stuff. And with the food we're getting brought is good.
So it's nice to see the community rooms
Yes,
used.
good
And
news.
which I didn't tell you my original report that the community room kitchen at Century Terrace has running water
Good.
and appliances. And the cabinets are not in the best shape, but they have been cleaned and usable. And I do plan to have the countertop sprayed next week. It's $185. Lasting effects will come in and the countertop will look like new when they're done. So, that will be up and running by March 1st.
I will be happy.
So, yeah, so we
Kevin
have,
told me, when I came in, to leave the door open, unlocked for me to bring. So I can get it out of my brace, right?
yes, so
Yeah.
United Way
Yeah,
generously
that's all.
supplied
Then I'll
this
pick it
community
up
room with
when I
lots of
leave.
supplies. And then she has the same list that she's been saving for the Century Terrace community room.
I just got everything at the same time, so that both buildings got the same identical stuff. No one can complain, why did they get nicer stuff than we got?
Sure,
Sure, I already heard it.
Good job.
But it's been sitting in my breezeway and it's like,
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
So 5 years coming, they have not had running water in that kitchen for 5 years. So to make a pot of coffee, Tammy would bring the water from her apartment
No, I'd go in the laundry
bathroom
room.
or the laundry room and get it. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
I will
so
go over
finally,
At some point later today.
It's amazing the progress that
Put some stuff there.
that someone's paying attention.
and the residents deserve
I
that.
might
They,
not,
you know, they need
since they're
to
coming to spray the countertop next
have a
week,
nice place.
I might just put the boxes in that back room. Until that's done, so you don't have to go in and take stuff off the countertop and then put it back on when it's dry.
We're thinking of having, baking sales in the community.
Yeah,
There's a few things we want, like that hot dog thing and the big.
Popcorn.
Popcorn. That we looked at, they're not much, they're like $50 a piece, but we're
yeah.
interested in those and have some stuff, so. And since we have a Scrooge on money,
That stuff should be purchased with the entry fees or the fees people are paying to come and participate in events.
Yeah,
Anything else?
and ownership means better maintenance.
You're
also.
absolutely.
Mr. Smith? And the only thing I have is we have a financial committee, a personnel committee, and kind of a residence committee of one. And we should probably, on our monthly meetings, have committee reports. If nothing happened that month, they can just say nothing happened.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sometimes these things start to grow legs and no one else knows what's going on
Yeah.
until, well, when did we do that?
That's a good
So,
idea.
Go add it to the agenda, Steve.
Committee reports.
Better communication.
Received communications and it has a financial reports underneath it. I think we already discussed financial reports per se.
Yeah, the only thing I would add, and Steve and I talked about this, on the public housing side, this is the 12-month. And there's a negative, there's a loss, but only because if you look in the accounts receivable, there's still billings going back to Riverside, to the management, or to CTHV that are booked, but we haven't received, because we've been going through and making sure that what we had been doing was appropriate. I think there was some credits due back. So that'll all get sorted out soon. So it'll end the year, it'll be a positive number. Whether it comes in on the next fiscal year, to me, it doesn't matter, but if you look at the balance sheet, I mean, our cash account's still really good. And if you add another 200,000 to that. So where I think we're positioned well. And I think once now that we get a good Century Terrace Harbor View budget developed and we see what real expenses are and what real costs are, I think, in the next 6 to 8 months, we're gonna have a good financial picture of what's going on. Now that the project's closed out. They're not construction loan, we're not paying consultants for occupancy consultants, that KMG is gonna handle all that. So there aren't gonna be all those expenses. So I think we're gonna be in a
I
pretty
will
good
be
place.
day that we can look at a financial report and trust what it says. Yep. I mean, when I looked at it here earlier this week, it was like, Oh, man.
I think the public housing one's good. It's just the century, because it's still got development side stuff in it, and that needs to be closed out, and, you know, we're gonna go through and have a operating budget now. And we've had this discussion with Conwell, I think we're gonna cash flow well,
Good.
Well, when you fill your units.
Yeah.
Money in
Yeah.
instead of just
yeah,
sitting there.
50 vacant units was
Not a good
not a
thing.
good thing, so.
Okay, which leads to the next thing, vacancy report.
We do have a lease scheduled for tomorrow. And the girls have been processing lots of applications and we still have to send out for the final approval because of the tax credit layer to make sure that we're 100% compliance with the LIHTC layer that we have. So yeah, we are still trying to get these units filled.
So when it says assigned, does that mean that they're in that last layer of?
Yeah, we're just
review?
waiting for, so KMG will now start approving them. So I did send a couple off to KMG. Waiting to hear back. We still can use Rally Consulting. We'll also approve them if I'm in a pinch and I can't get KMG to respond after so long. I can still send it to Rally. So I have one sent to KMG and one sent to Rally waiting for approval. So I don't care who approves it. Just somebody tell me I can move forward on this lease.
So every application after you qualify them has to go to either someone like Rally or KMG for final approval, and it can take a week, a month.
It can take, well, 3 to 7 days is the average.
And Rally is who is here helping you guys set and clear up all the mess of files.
Yeah.
But they're pretty expensive, right?
Yeah,
But they really helped a lot in getting stuff up to date, right?
They did, yes, they did a lot of training with
You know,
us too.
put a hole in their floor.
Which I don't want to forget to mention this. If I should have mentioned it in my executive director report, but there are several NOFAs out currently. One being the Public Housing Capital Fund Emergency Safety and Security Grant Program. The applications are due by March 27th. If I have time, I would like to maybe throw our hat in the ring for some improvements, security cameras, doors, locks on windows, things like that. I already have a lot of the documentation from when in Big Rapids, we've applied for this several different times. It's kind of like a lottery, so we may not get it, but if I have time, I'd like to at least throw our hat in the ring.
Yeah, but if you don't apply, I can guarantee you won't get it.
Exactly. So if you guys are okay with that,
Yeah.
I'll update you. It's March 27th is the deadline, so at our meeting on March 14th, I can update
Is
you.
there anybody that can help you with it so that, I mean, it's not another layer on your on your desk?
Is it a form or are you doing an RFP type of, I mean, is it a
Is it a
big?
bid?
So I need to get some proposals on the item, so I know exactly how much
Oh,
we're
okay.
requesting, and then I already started working on the narrative.
Oh,
it's mostly narrative stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll help, or, although she
I
knows
heard
my
you say
feelings
that,
on it.
Lori.
But
So I have to prove him wrong, because he
Yeah.
doesn't think we have a chance, but he didn't think I could get Commonwealth to get the glue off the floor at Century Terrace either. And I
It's
did.
just my way of a challenge.
Well, if we just keep putting our name out.
Yep.
there Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you said doors, are you talking entrance doors or are you talking personal doors?
Entry doors.
Some way I'd love to see personal doors.
In a fob system or something like
Well,
that.
I need to.
I know it.
So the interior, like the bedroom and bathroom doors.
Entrance doors for each apartment.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, all right, good.
Because it's
Okay.
safety and security.
Yeah, but not for here, though. You know,
Yeah,
for
this is strictly public housing.
Scattered site.
Okay,
Yeah.
scattered, well, that's good too.
Yeah.
But
Eventually I'd like
are you
to see-
saying you would like to see new doors in these units? They did replace the bathroom doors at,
Yeah, but the
One of
front doors, our entrance doors, the wood doors, I would like us to go away from that. When I walk the hallways here, those are all wood doors.
at Harbor View.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they don't have them at Century
We
Terrace.
painted
but
at Century Terrace.
yes, I know what you're
I think
saying.
a steel door or something a little bit safer.
Well, I'm still, I can't believe that a hollow core steel door is a fire rated door. You know, the fire rated doors I've ever had to replace weighed like 300 pounds. I mean, they were heavy.
Yeah.
Hollow metal?
It can be.
Hmm.
Depends on what they're made of.
Yeah, I'm sure these doors are fire rated too. They're solid.
Yeah, well,
Solid.
Kevin proved, had to show me. It's-
So you're, still got a solid waiting list for both buildings? Are we encouraging people to get on the waiting list? Where are we at?
Yes, so I just renewed the advertisement with, the advocate, yeah, so, they're giving me a great deal too on the ad, so I'm putting it in there every day
Good.
for a month. So
Are you
this will be
running
the,
out of applications now?
we are not out of applications yet.
But you have some potential openings, so it's good to have more people get on the waiting list.
Yes,
Now, did you ever find out, on the market rate apartments? I don't think they're specific to that apartment.
right, that, I'm working with KMG on that.
And we have, what, 5 in the system?
We do,
Yeah, that'll be in the regulatory agreement, the tax.
Now, we
credit.
can't get low income tax credits on them.
No,
Okay, so those just have to run at normal, whatever we can get for
well, I'm working with KMG to
Yeah.
see if I can tax credit qualify them. Or not, so I'm working on that, Steve, I will update you on that, because that's a great question, and we need to know.
them. Because if we can't get, low income tax credits on those apartments, then we should probably pick some penthouse apartments and sell them or run them for high dollar.
well, you can't do that. It's still 30% of somebody's income. That's all they're gonna pay. Then, and then the the vouchers will limit the amount. Cause they still qualify. We're still getting a voucher payment on it.
Oh, okay,
Multifamily
okay,
payment.
never mind, okay.
The only thing is, tax credits have to be 60% or under. HUD units can be 80% or under. For these 5 units, we can go, if somebody's over 60%, we have a
Right,
potential landing spot for them.
so those 5 units are not specific to apartment numbers.
We don't know that yet. See, I think that's what we're trying to figure out.
I think you'll find out that they're not. You just have to have 5 apartments that are in that.
Which
80%.
works out nice when you have a resident whose income increases and they go above, then maybe you could assign their unit
Yeah.
as a market. So
Yeah,
that's
right.
what we're trying to
We're
figure
trying to
out.
figure that one out.
Okay,
Just on the side, I will be in Big Rapids. I'll have the morning available. I'll be at the college in the.
Okay.
there's a college in Big Rapids.
Just a little one.
Oh, that's where the zoo is.
Hey. Hey, bulldogs all the way.
That's what we
And
call it. I went to Western, Ferris was always called the zoo.
That's what we call Kalamazoo.
Newsletter.
So we have a resident that just lives down the hall who has been, she's an artist. So she,
Is that who did this?
yes, that's one of our residents here at Harborview.
Sweet.
And she already has marches done too, but she's very creative. So I want to give her, the credit for her nice little drawing.
See what she does every month. I'm already ahead for next month.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to keep them under lock and key so no one has prior knowledge. This is a great little newsletter. Anybody have any questions on it? Then let's move to the resident council meeting. But Deb and Willie aren't.
I have not a clue.
I guess I'd like to see the resident council president make a presentation at some point in time, maybe not every month, but every other month.
so we do have our resident council meeting next Wednesday. So I can bring that up, Steve.
Okay. Any public comments?
Keep on keeping on, doing good things.
Moving
The
like
more we
me,
can all work together and help.
rolling those boulders uphill.
Okay, announcements and upcoming meetings. The RAG consultant interviews will be Thursday, February 29th at Central Wellness. We're interviewing a consultant for phase two. What do we do with the 47 scattered sites? And how fast do we move on? What's it gonna cost? The next month's meeting has been moved to the 14th on the 21st at Century Terrace. I guess there's another meeting coming up.
You talked about a personnel meeting, when we were gonna do that?
Yeah, we thought about doing it at prior to the,
Oh, the next meeting.
but that won't, well, maybe next,
We could do it next Thursday if Jenny's available.
Yeah, that's right.
But next,
yeah, we can check, we can
that's the
work on it.
22nd.
Yeah, I can,
What time? I have a 10:30 meeting.
anytime.
You don't, after 2 o'clock, 2:30, I'm not available.
You wanna do a 9 again? On the 22nd, then I'll be out by 10:30, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have the flooring person coming too at
At
like
10.
10, so.
So 9 AM
Where are we gonna meet?
at your office.
Yeah.
There's nothing further to come in front of this commission. I think or request a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Like that.
All in favor?
I.
All opposed? Motion carried.
I am perfect next to you.
They're making progress.
What do you got?
Our furnace got installed Monday.
Oh.
The office is Becky goes to warm.
It's amazing.
They both set up. Got a pen?
Less than a year.
I think that.
You wanna come down?
What I wanna talk.
Like,
and we-
yeah.
What did he